What's up, guys? A little bit late hopping on here today, but got to keep the streak alive. Got to keep the streak alive. And I know it's the preseason, but we're going to be here most days, Monday through Friday, looking at some of these games. I got just a few picks to give out, but I have one pick I really like. It's my favorite pick of the preseason, and I actually put a 5% play up at Wager Talk, so you guys can get that play over at Wager Talk. Honestly, I highly encourage anybody interested in getting that play or getting any of my plays over the next few weeks to just use that deal at the bottom of the screen. You can see the preseason plus 1 month is the best deal you can get if you're trying to get my bets. So preseason full every play side total plus the first month of regular season for $149. 5% play tonight goes for $35. So kind of a no-brainer. If you guys are interested in the 5% play tonight, you probably want to go ahead and get that deal, take advantage of that. I'm really dialed in, and we've been doing a lot of research this year in the preseason, getting ready for the regular season. Also have some new plans for this year that I'm hoping will work out really well. What's up, Steve? We got Steve in here, some decent spots in tonight's slate. Looking forward to diving in. Yeah, we're going to keep it real quick today. But yesterday, Tuesday, the home teams did pretty well. The Bruins take down the Capitals, which that was a lean for us. Kind of thought we'd see goals in both the Habs Devils game and the Leafs and Sens game. Well, Leafs and Sens was about the exact opposite of what we saw in the first meeting between those two teams, as we saw a 2-1 game, and I guess it goes to show weren't a ton of all-star guys obviously out there for the Maple Leafs, couple guys that are NHL regulars for the Sens, and it was a boring but 2-1 win for the Senators. Absolutely crazy game for the Rangers and Islanders. We did end up giving out the over, and that was about the only thing that went right for us yesterday. Over 5.5, as that one has 10 goals in it, 6-4 for the Rangers. That one was crazy. Yeah, we called it. That one was way too low, Steve. That was just crazy, though. Honestly, the Islanders, I think, were up 3-0 going into the third period. New York outscores the Islanders 6-1 in the third period. You got to love that. Actually, the Rangers hit the total over on their own, and then they got, of course, 7 goals in the third period. So, yeah, nice to see that one. Russell says Andrew, no OT causes havoc on the totals in preseason. What do you mean no OT? They do OT. Pretty sure there's OT. I'm pretty sure there's OT. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I've seen, yeah, there's OT. There's OT. There was a Senators versus Leafs game that went to overtime. So definitely OT in the preseason. I think it might be just overtime, no quick shootouts or something like that. But anyway, guys, we'll try to do better today. We did hit a couple yesterday on the stream, but definitely wasn't great. The good point to mention, though, yesterday is that the home teams had success. Today we got the Blue Jackets at home, Devils at home, Lightning at home, Blackhawks, Stars, Jets, and Canucks, all home teams. All home teams looking to get the job done. So the Blue Jackets are a team that I've got my eye on for tonight. They're minus 120. The number's only getting a little bit higher here, guys. We are seeing a handful of regular players for them, and I think the Blue Jackets, first of all, the game that we hit the over on 2 days ago on the stream, Buffalo versus Columbus, that game was crazy. I mean, that game was, 6-1 for Buffalo? That was not the best effort out of Columbus. It was a road game for Columbus. We're going to see a lot more regulars out there for Columbus tonight. Of course, it is their game at home, their first home game of the year. Of course, I know it is preseason, but the Blues, a couple guys out there, a couple regulars, but they've played preseason already. They've got a couple games under their belt, I do believe, and I do think that this is a spot the Jackets get the job done. And another similar game that reminds me of that one, Blues versus Jackets, guys, is kind of Red Wings versus Hawks. It's minus 155 for the Hawks. I do like them to win the game. If you want to do the -1, I think it's a good opportunity to do so. At DraftKings, I'm seeing minus 155 for the money line, plus 155 for the puck line there, depending on where you shop around. You could probably get a pretty good plus price there. You've got Bertuzzi, you've got Hall, you've got Bedard, you've got a lot of guys that are NHLers that are going to be out there tonight for the Chicago Blackhawks, which should be really helpful for that team. And again, these rebuilding teams, these young teams, I'm not saying they're going to win all their preseason games because, you know, even half a roster for some good teams is better than some of these rosters, it seems like, that are weaker. But, you know, similarly to the Habs having a good 2-0 start, even though they had, you know, good matchups, I think the Blackhawks definitely want to get off to a good start with their games and their preseason. So I'm definitely looking at the Blackhawks. So we'll look at circling a -1 there. Split your bet on the money line, split your bet on the puck line. Capitals, Devils, you know, Devils -225. I'm not so sure I agree with that huge price. You know, I get it. They've iced a pretty, you know, AHL to prospect type roster so far. Last night against the Canadiens, it was a really boring game. As I told you guys on stream, I'd be watching that game as a Canadiens fan, and that was a pretty boring game, and there weren't really many game breakers on that lineup for the New Jersey Devils. And a lot of times it's how it works, right? You send the younger guys on the road, and you actually keep your veteran players at home. So now you're going to have Nico Hischier, the captain. You're going to have Jack Hughes. You're going to have Timo Meier. You're going to have all kinds of regular players. And I believe you got Hamilton playing on defense. You've got all kinds of regular defensive players. So you probably could see more goals for the Devils. But at the same time, I don't agree much with that -225 price tag. The Capitals are suiting up Alex Ovechkin, Strome, and a couple of those guys. So that's something worth mentioning there for them. The Panthers, Lightning, battle of the Sunshine State there. Two teams that have had a lot of success recently. That to me is an under game, under 6, guys. If you can look at that and punch that one in, kind of like the defensive aspect of that one. Two teams I don't think have to worry too much about preseason with the success that they've had. Obviously, the Panthers off winning the Stanley Cup, and of course Tampa Bay with the success they've had over the last handful of years. I think they're going to be a team that comes off, you know, out of the preseason with a really good defensive effort. So we'll go with the under in the Panthers and Lightning game, under 6 there. Russell says Florida, the new hockey capital of the world. Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Canadian players and the top American players that go there, the taxes. And you know what? Some people like playing in the big markets. Some people like being unrecognizable. And I'll tell you what, you walk around Montreal as, you know, a Nick Suzuki or a Cole Caulfield, you probably can't go to dinner without getting asked for a picture. I guarantee you these Florida hockey players walk around and go to dinner, they're not getting recognized everywhere they go, you know, because it's obviously the population and just all the teams there. And I'm not saying it's not popular there, but the lifestyle is different. That's for sure. Steve says you can parlay the Jets and Hawks money line for around +120. Yeah, I like that. Obviously, yesterday I think I said Penguins, and who else did I say? Penguins, Rangers, and Penguins kind of didn't look like themselves, and I think we were getting a very similar price. So I'm not sure if +120 is the number you want to be getting on a parlay, a 2-teamer. If you're going to do that, I think you probably want something a little bit better than that, because I think long term you're probably better off single betting some of those, even though there's such big prices there. But you did, of course, mention the Jets, and I think the Jets get the job done, but I think the Jets get the job done in defensive fashion. So that's another under I like, under 6, -115, the total there. I think that one could go under. Kraken, what did you say there, Russell? Kraken game we passed on. How about Jackets and Hawks? Yeah, Jackets and Hawks. Yeah, that one's interesting. What's up? Strictly Canucks talk, my guy. Always putting in work. I see you going live all the time. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. Again, like I said, I think the Blue Jackets get a W tonight. I think the Blue Jackets are a team to look at -120. Um, for some reason, yeah, Steve, for some reason, I just don't think that the Oilers are really locked in on the preseason right now. They've got their eyes set on something bigger, of course. All these teams do, but with this being a road game, something tells me this game is like kind of a quiet 3-1 type game. It goes under the total, so I wouldn't mind that. Vancouver, they're whopping -220 after playing yesterday, and they actually had a handful of players that were regulars yesterday, but they that game was okay. It came down to the wire against Seattle. Oh, I skipped over that one. Yes, you're right. I didn't talk about that one in the recap there, Russell. But yeah, Vancouver to me looks like they're icing another good lineup. Calgary on the road there for them, -218 though. Part of me kind of wants to take the Flames plus the 1.5 here, guys, and I'm not usually a plus 1.5 guy. But I think this could be an opportunity to do so. I think the Flames could stick around, make it a close game. And I like, again, teams that I expect to be weaker in the regular season, I want to look at to make money on them in the preseason. And I think the Flames could be a team that we could do that with plus 1.5. I know we don't want to get caught up laying too much juice every single time out, but I think that could be a good one. Yeah, Steve says Shelov's kept them in the third. That's kind of why maybe I would lean towards the over in that one, over 6, because we got a lot of hungry prospects out there for Calgary. We got a Vancouver team that does get bailed out by goaltending quite a bit, guys. So we could see goals in that one. But for the purposes of the stream, guys, we're going to go on record with the Blue Jackets -120. I like that one quite a bit. Panthers, Lightning, we're going to go under 6. And we're going to go with the Blackhawks -1. You mix the money line, you mix the puck line, you get a really good price. Russell says, Andrew Canes this year, what's your take on them moving forward? My take on the Hurricanes is that I've been talking this team up for what feels like years. I've been waiting for them to take that next step, and whether it's not getting that secondary scoring when they needed it, not getting that big goal when they needed it, goaltenders getting hurt. There's just always been a problem for them, and I think they're going to be a little different this year. I think they're going to be a little bit different this year. Steve says, I like the Florida Tampa Bay game. Also, the under, pretty lackluster lineups for both. Yeah, and I honestly think that both teams is kind of like get the rust out, see what some of the younger guys can do, and that's about it. Both of the coaches, I think, for Tampa and Florida want to just get that regular season underway, so they're not in too much of a rush. Anybody watching that missed the intro there, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. If you're watching on Twitter, make sure you repost this or retweet it. But if you're interested in my 5% play tonight, because I can't believe I have a 5% play tonight, but I do have a 5% NHL play going tonight in the preseason, my favorite play of the night, and hopefully we can build the bankroll for the regular season. All my plays so far in the preseason have been 1% or half a unit, and this is a 5% play. So I really, really, really like this one. You guys can join me at wagertalk.com. But of course, as you guys see on the bottom of your screen there, we've got a really good deal as far as my whole preseason plus the first month of the regular season, $149. So if you guys want to join me tonight on the preseason play, forget about paying the 30-some bucks for the 5% play when you can pay $149 to get every preseason play and the entire first month of the regular season. That's about it. That's about it. What's the plays, Irish King? Columbus Blue Jackets money line, -1 line for the Hawks game on the Hawks, and we're gonna go under on the Florida and Tampa game. For the rest of my plays, guys, you can get them at wagertalk.com. Again, you can see on your screen preseason plus first month for $149. If you're not interested in that package, do me a favor, head on over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, retweet on Twitter. Really helps me out. Let's make some money tonight, and hope you guys cash some tickets. See you next time.